This is Chris Ransom of Draft Utopia, and earlier this afternoon, ESPN aired a press conference of Andrew Luck and Tom Brady previewing the divisional round matchup for Saturday night's Colts versus Patriots game at Gillette Stadium, and I decided to listen in on what the quarterbacks were saying to apply my auditory hearing skills so I could gain a better impression of how each quarterback sounded when they were answering questions charismatically during the interview process. So we'll look at Andrew Luck, how he displayed confidence in the interview, and then we'll follow that up with Tom Brady and illustrate why he displayed cockiness, even though it was cockiness on a subconscious level. So let's get into it. And Andrew Luck, he started out by praising the Patriots defense without acknowledging the fact that the Patriots have a huge weakness at linebacker with Gerard Mayo and Brandon Spikes out. Did I forget Vince Wilfork? He's pretty good too. He was nervous about facing this defense, but assertive at the same time because he felt pretty confident and humble and strong coming off a win against the Kansas City Chiefs. He credited his backup quarterbacks, including Matt Hasselbeck and third stringer Chandler Harnish, also known as Mr. Irrelevant from the 2012 NFL Draft. Serious mental focus, and he emphasized the importance of preparation, going through progressions with wide receivers, adversity, all this good stuff. Praised T.Y. Hilton, and he mentioned former Boston College No, take that back. Andrew Luck did not mention former Boston College offensive tackles Anthony Costanzo and Goster Cherilus, and maybe giving them the silent treatment and being calm and collected with them helps Luck build better rapport with his offensive tackles, because if these guys have been playing phenomenally the past 2 weeks, and even though they've given up a hurry or two, but they've kept Luck uptight, they've kept him clean, they've kept him in this realistic, animalistic beast mode, then maybe just giving his lineman a pat on the back, buying him some steak, just taking him out to the movies or the clubs or whatever, that's going to make his protection unit perform at a high level. Maybe that's the secret ingredient to Andrew Luck throwing tons of touchdowns. Who am I kidding himself? That is every quarterback's secret. And that's self-confidence, doing all the things that Luck described in the interview and doing them in a playoff game, in a statement game against the Kansas City Chiefs, a team with 5 Pro Bowlers this year, 6 the previous year when they went 2-14. That's leadership. And with Brady, you just got a sense of cockiness. It's hard to tell how he showcased this cockiness in the interview, but I'll describe how Brady conducted himself. He basically opened up the interview by calling the Colts secondary great, by playfully insulting the secondary, the same Colts secondary that allowed Dwayne Bowe to go wild and run for receiving touchdowns. He then followed that up by praising Colts safeties LaRon Landry and Antoine Bethea, without describing how each safety delivers hard hits, zone coverage, and critical interceptions in clutch scenarios. Brady continued his Colts secondary rant by raving about Darius Butler's ability to make picks. He's probably upset about the fact that the Patriots front office got rid of Butler because he struggled early in his career, and now he's rebounded in profound attire against the Patriots or other quality NFL teams for the Indianapolis Colts organization. Great pickup by Ryan Grigson. And then Brady gave Vontae Davis the silent treatment. The 2009 first-round pick from the Miami Dolphins got the silent treatment, courtesy of Tom Brady. And that has to piss off Vontae Davis because he had a really shitty game against the Kansas City Chiefs last week after being heralded as this number 1 field cornerback and struggling at times this season with a strong supporting cast in place. And they've had to move him to the boundary and the nickel role at times. So there's been more variety to his game. And the fact that Brady gave Vontae Davis the silent treatment has to piss him off. And Brady doesn't have Wes Welker to get by Davis anymore. You remember those 09, those 010 games, those Pats-Dolphins rivalry games, where Brady could just chink it out to Wes Welker, flat route, screen route, drag route, vertical route, two-go seam routes. Any route you can name, describe. You could put Welker in at the Z, X, or Y receiver roles, and Welker would just adapt on the fly, whether he's playing the flanker, secondary, or slot receiver role. He could just adapt on the fly and gel in against Vontae Davis in coverage. Tom Brady no longer has that casualty at his disposal. Plus, Wes Welker had other supporting receivers at tight end like Rob Gronkowski and Aaron Hernandez. And Aaron Hernandez is in jail. You look at how Rob Gronkowski's been too injury prone the past couple of years, and that's going to affect Tom Brady's performance, especially considering the fact that he's got backup offensive tackles or starters that are coming off injuries after such a long layoff. And by layoff, we're not talking about offensive tackles Matt Light and Nick Kaxer from the Super Bowl 42 Patriots or the previous Super Bowl winning Patriots dynasty, coached by offensive line coach Dante Scarnecchia. We're talking about Nate Soldier and Sebastian Vollmer when they got the Patriots to Super Bowl 47 only to lose to the New York Giants. That was Super Bowl 46. Ravens won Super Bowl 47. Just double checking everything. And you're just looking at the fact that Vollmer is on IR. Nate Soldier, he's been out for a while. Maybe the recovery will boost his play, but you never know how it is when a left tackle like Nate Soldier, he has such a long layoff. He's coming off an injury, and Robert Mathis has emerged. He's shown that he can adapt to the 3-4 left outside linebacker or 3-4 right outside linebacker role, despite the loss of Dwight Freeney, and he's really asserted himself as the defensive leader of the Indianapolis Colts this season. And he's giving Mathis the silent treatment too. You don't want to give Robert Mathis the silent treatment, Tom Brady. I know you've been able to get away with that in the past because you've had the offensive line to protect you, but you don't have that this week. And I'm trying to be nice about it, even though the Patriots were my favorite team growing up as a kid. Now it's like I sound like a Colts homer or a bandwagon jumper that's about to turn to the dark side without Peyton Manning. So you got to be mentally focused and aware of that. And if Brady's a natural franchise quarterback, assuming he is, then he's not going to discuss these gold nuggets within the Indianapolis Colts defense. He's just going to go out there and perform on Sundays. And I just think giving guys like Vontae Davis and Robert Mathis the silent treatment is a bitch move because it shows a lack of respect towards your opponent. But this is the real kicker of the interview. Tom Brady called Adam Vinatieri one of the best kickers of all time. I know you're pissed off about Super Bowl 41. Peyton Manning robbed you of a potential fourth championship, and Vinatieri was on that team and got a fourth ring without you. He also got you 3 Super Bowl rings by kicking critical, clutch, game-winning field goals. Vinatieri did that shit back in the day for New England. And telling him he's one of the best kickers instead of calling him the best just shows what a... You know what? Hold that thought. It just shows why the rest of the NFL hates the New England Patriots. Even if I sit here and defend the Patriots like Paul Revere or Captain America, the point is people have a right to hate the Patriots because if you're just going to sit there and not give Vinatieri the benefit of the doubt like some smug liberal, then why... I'm not saying all liberals are smug. It's just like some liberals come across as smug, and now we're getting into this pointless debate about politics and shit, and it's like, I feel like being a libertarian at times, but it's like, let's go back to the NFL talking point. It's like, Vinatieri won you 3 Super Bowls, and you're still upset about Super Bowl 41. The game's in New England. It's not at the RCA Dome, now known as Lucas Oil Stadium. This is Gillette Stadium, your home turf. You've defeated Peyton Manning here on 2 occasions. Now you get Andrew Luck and a formidable Colts defense that's changed from a 4-3 scheme to a 3-4 scheme. And so much continuity has gone on between these organizations since that playoff meeting in Gillette Stadium about a decade ago. And it's like, you can't do that. He didn't give Luck props for the comeback win against the Chiefs, which was another, but it's like, you know what? Brady knows Luck impressed. He doesn't have to give Andrew Luck props. In fact, he can challenge him and say, you know what? Beat me on my home turf. Do what Peyton Manning didn't do, and then I'll give you your real stripes. But you're not going to beat me on my home turf. He can be like that without saying that. And people will respect him for it because he's won the bling 3 times. But Brady said that first time isn't a milestone to brag about or an excuse to fall back on. He's absolutely 100% correct about that. First time you do anything, and whether you succeed or fail, you don't want to brag about it, or you don't want to feel sorry for yourself. You just want to keep on going, keep on working at what you're doing, keep expressing your passion until you cultivate it. And Brady hit the nail on the coffin with that talking point. But in the interview, you just didn't get that impression with Brady. I mean, Luck displayed that composure with the way he carried himself during the interview, and Brady didn't. And I'm reading more into that than I am into the actual words that Brady said during the interview. And then he talks about how he hopes his players bring their best. Leaders believe in what they have, and they make things happen. And basically, he's implying that his backups suck, but he's doing it very subtly because he's the quarterback and he's getting paid to kiss the team's ass. But he knows that he's really going to have to work his ass off and play turnover-free football if he wants to win, and Luck's going to put up a hell of a fight. He spoke in a calmer tone, but he displayed the charismatic nature and charisma of a cocky braggart in audacious fashion in Tuesday's press conference. And that's the most disappointing thing about Brady. I'm still going to root for the Patriots, but I'm really disappointed with the way Brady handled himself in the interview. But I'll forgive him if the Pats win and proceed to the AFC Championship, where they will likely duel the Denver Broncos in Denver. Hopefully, Brady continues to go G.I. Joe on NFL teams by getting hot at the right time and wipes the smile off John Elway's smug horse anus Bronco face. More information. No offense to Elway. You won 2 Super Bowls, but your face kind of looks like a horse's anus. But you won those Super Bowls without Spygate, so you get the benefit of the doubt. All right, so the Indianapolis Colts are 2-8 in their last 10 playoff games on the road, and Tom Brady is 7-7 since his 10-0 playoff start post-Spygate victories. So you look at that, and did you know both quarterbacks were 23-11 in their first 34 games? Pretty awesome stat because it's an identical statistic describing the early success of both signal callers. But I'm going to predict that the Colts' bad luck in Gillette Stadium comes to an abrupt end in a mid-20s to high-20s contest. I'll go 28-27, one more one-point win for the Colts. Luck does what Peyton Manning failed to do versus Tom Brady, and Andrew Luck gets a rematch with Peyton Manning in Denver after defeating him at Lucas Oil Stadium earlier in the regular season. And this will be the game that everyone will want to talk about because ESPN, they gave extensive coverage on this game before Luck knocked off Peyton Manning and had the upset win. And it's like, you want to talk about this game again. You want to have pregame hype, interviews, press conferences, all this stuff again featuring these 2 teams because it will get you the best ratings. But I'm really concerned because the Colts seem like they're really serious about kicking some New England Tea Party or Paul Tuckett Brewery Patriot ass this weekend. And if you're a Patriots fan and you've been rooting for the Patriots since the Drew Bledsoe days when the Patriots had Pete Carroll, Bill Parcells, they had Teddy Bruschi, you're kind of worried about what the Colts are capable of. But not worried enough to the point where you're going to lose faith in the team completely, given their history to win at home in such a cold, blizzardy, windy, 32 degrees below zero, even though it's really only 32 degrees Fahrenheit environment at Gillette Stadium, where Rob Kraft gets all excited in the owner's box like a boss. But the Patriots are probably going to win this game as long as they avoid the turnover battle. That's what it's going to come down to. We don't need to kid ourselves about that. The turnover battle will decide everything. But I just feel like the Colts, they might pull the upset this week. And I'm pretty confident in their ability to pull the upset given the way Luck handled himself in the interview compared to what Brady did. And I'm predicting the Colts will win, but this game could seriously go either way. Nothing would surprise me except a blowout by either team. That would surprise me. A one-sided contest which resulted in a blowout because the Colts have struggled to run the ball and the Patriots have really improved their running game this season. And if they keep the ball out of Luck's hands, they mix things up. Brady displays that tenacity and brings a variety to the table, courtesy of Josh McDaniels, his offensive coordinator, then the Patriots will win this contest. But Brady has to bring the variety, and he has to deliver on Saturday night. This is Chris Ransom of Draft Utopia describing Andrew Luck's confidence and Tom Brady's cockiness, which will be forgiven if the Patriots proceed to the AFC Championship. Otherwise, all the haters who mention that the Patriots are, well, they've only won because of Spygate, they're partially correct. But you don't want to admit they're correct because this is the Patriots. But I was just so disgusted with the way Brady handled himself in the interview. Because how can you say that about Vinatieri calling him one of the best kickers? The guy helped you win 3 Super Bowls, and then you just cornholed him on national television. That kind of pisses me off. But whatever, man. It's only football. It's going to be an excellent game on Saturday that will determine who faces the Denver Broncos in the AFC title game, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Peace out.